You might know Tekashi 6ix9ine from his famous songs Bebe, Ya Ya, or Trolls. However, if you aren't familiar with him, he is a rapper with billions of views on YouTube. Ever since his rap career started around 2012, the rapper has been surrounded by controversy, drama, and tons of scandals. Well, 6ix9ine has apparently found himself embedded in another scandal, as there are reports of the IRS investigating him and possibly seizing some of his assets. Today, I'm going to break down exactly what is happening with 6ix9ine and the IRS. Make sure that you stay all the way until the end of this video so you can learn from this situation and make sure that you never make the same mistakes that 6ix9ine has made. Without further ado, let's dive in. Tekashi 6ix9ine had a lot of trouble with the law over the past decade. For example, in 2018, he was arrested on charges of racketeering and other drug and weapon charges. For these crimes, he was facing a minimum of 47 years in prison. In response to these charges, 6ix9ine pleaded guilty to 9 of them, including conspiracy to commit armed robbery and murder. In order to reduce the number of years that he would have to spend in prison, 6ix9ine cooperated with the government and testified for the prosecution against gang members from the 9 Trey gang. As a result, he was only sentenced to 2 years in prison. He went to prison and served a large portion of his sentence, but was let out early due to having severe asthma. He was in prison during 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic was in full effect, and there was a concern that he would die if left in prison. So the judge decided to let him out early due to his vulnerability to the COVID-19 virus. He carried out the rest of his prison sentence on house arrest and was released on August of 2020. Once he was released, he went right back to making music. But despite the fact that 6ix9ine narrowly escaped 4.5 decades of being in prison, it appears that he is still having some trouble staying out of trouble with the law. It has been reported that Tekashi 6ix9ine had his home in Lake Worth, Florida, raided by the IRS agents with support from the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. As a part of the raid, the IRS seized a number of valuable assets from 6ix9ine's home, including several luxury vehicles. These vehicles included a blue Lamborghini Urus, a green Bentley Continental GTC, and both of these vehicles have a custom paint job that features colorful splatter paint that 6ix9ine is known for in his continuous use of loud rainbow color aesthetics in everything from his music videos to his hair and to his girls. So it is a no surprise that his cars have the same aesthetic. What is going to happen to his cars and some of his other assets? The IRS listed the cars for auction on a government website on July 8th, and the starting bid was $20,000. Once the vehicles are sold, it is unlikely that 6ix9ine will ever be able to get them back. In other words, he's going to have to get some new luxury cars because those bad boys are gone. Now, you might be wondering, how did 6ix9ine react to his cars being seized by the government? Did he try to stop them? Did he create a scene where the IRS showed up? It appears that 6ix9ine was not at the house when the IRS looked for the vehicles, and 6ix9ine was arrested earlier in the year on domestic violence charges in the Dominican Republic. So he hasn't even been in the country dealing with his own IRS investigation. He's dealing with another investigation. 6ix9ine is yet to speak out publicly about the seizure of the vehicles or explain what is happening with the IRS. And usually the IRS will only seize assets to satisfy tax debts. So, although it is yet to be confirmed that 6ix9ine owed a lot of money in unpaid taxes, it is highly likely that it is exactly what happened. So now he is still facing legal troubles due to the domestic violence incidents in the Dominican Republic, and he is also apparently facing major trouble with the IRS. What can we learn from this guy? Although 6ix9ine may be loved by millions of people around the world for his music, and although he is a star in the industry, he is a cautionary tale when it comes to dealing with the IRS. Now, as I said, we don't know exactly what happened with the IRS yet. We don't know exactly how much money he might have owed to the IRS, or whether IRS agents were simply helping other law enforcement agents seize these assets related to a different investigation. But what I want you to take away from this situation is that when the IRS has legal cause to seize assets, it 100% will do so in most cases to satisfy tax debts. 6ix9ine is just one of many high-profile celebrities who have had assets seized by the IRS before. For example, country singer Willie Nelson famously owed $32 million to the IRS, and the IRS seized much of the property that he owned in order to satisfy the debt. He also recorded the album The IRS Tapes, Who Will Buy My Memories, to satisfy the IRS debt. Nicolas Cage, Wesley Snipes, Floyd Mayweather, Lil Wayne have all had high-profile run-ins with the IRS that involved major tax debts. Wesley Snipes even ended up going to prison over his ordeal with the IRS. But one thing that you guys need to be aware of is that if the IRS believes that you owe them a large sum of money in overdue taxes, then it could potentially place what is called a lien on your property. If you're not familiar with what liens are, they are legal tools that are used to protect the interest of creditors and other parties who are owed money by property owners. The IRS uses these tools very frequently. However, they are also commonly used by banks, lenders, contractors, and courts to ensure the property owners pay their debts. Tax debts are considered 100% valid debts by the government, in case you were wondering. So don't make the mistake of thinking that your assets can't be seized through a lien if you owe a tax debt as opposed to a bank debt, because they can come after it. The way that IRS liens work is that first, the IRS will assess your debt and notify you of how much unpaid taxes you have. This is known as a notice and demand for payment. If you manage to pay off the debt before the deadline, then you will not have a lien placed on your property. However, if you do not pay off the debt before the deadline, then the IRS will place a lien on your property, and the IRS tax lien can be attached to many different types of personal property, such as securities, real estate, and vehicles. It is very likely that in this case with 6ix9ine, a tax lien was placed on his Lamborghini and Bentley. If you happen to owe tax debts through a business that you own, a tax lien can also be placed on your business property and accounts receivable for that business. So don't think that the IRS won't come for your business assets if you own a business. They will come for it as well. If you fail to pay off the debt after the lien has been placed on your property, then the lien holder has the legal right to seize the property and liquidate the assets. This is usually done by placing them for public auction, which is what happened with 6ix9ine's cars. So let's talk about preventing this from happening to you. If you have luxury vehicles or other valuable assets, and if you don't want them to get seized by the IRS, then you need to always make sure that you report your income and file your taxes accurately with the IRS every single year. You also need to pay off all of your tax obligations. This is the only thing that can provide you with complete protection against tax liens and property seizures. However, keep in mind that you can legally reduce your tax burden by implementing tax strategies. Welcome to this channel. Now, regular viewers on my channel know that we break down all types of tax strategies on this account. If you're new to the channel, then consider checking out the videos that I have inside of my library. But if you don't have time to spend hours going through the library, then sign up for the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge kicking off August 5th through August 9th, 2024. But if you happen to miss this challenge, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We post amazing tax strategy videos, and I look forward to being your teacher. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.